Have you ever stopped and really wondered who you are? I mean, beyond your name, your job, your memories? Well, today, we're going to dive right into that question. We're taking a journey through two pretty fascinating texts, The Third Eye, Awakening Your True Self, and ESP, Psychic Wisdom, to piece together a map of consciousness, all the way from the silent watcher inside us to the wild edges of psychic perception.
So let's just start with this huge foundational question. It's really at the heart of everything we're talking about today. If you could just strip away your job title, your memories, all those feelings that come and go, what's left? Who are you really?
Okay, so our first source, The Third Eye, kicks things off with a bold idea that most of us are confused about who we actually are. It argues that our everyday identity, the one that worries about bills and loves a good movie, that's not the whole story, not even close.
I mean, think about it. Are you just your thoughts? Well, no, because your thoughts are changing every single second. Are you your feelings? Those are even more wild and unpredictable. According to the author, identifying with all that stuff is like a single wave in the ocean, thinking it's the entire ocean. There's something much deeper, much more fundamental, that we tend to completely miss.
And that leads us right into this core concept from the first book, the power of what it calls the observer. This is the part of you that's underneath all that mental chatter, a silent, pure awareness that's just there, always.
Now here's the key thing to get. The observer self isn't another thought or feeling. It's the silent space in which all your thoughts and feelings happen. It doesn't get angry or happy or stressed. It just watches all that stuff rise up and then fade away, kind of like watching clouds drift across the sky. It's the quiet, still center of your own personal storm. And you can really see the contrast here, right? On one side, you've got the thinking mind. It's chaotic, it's emotional, it's constantly jumping between the past and the future. Total mess sometimes. But on the other side, you have the observer. It's completely still, it's constant, and it exists only right here, in the present moment. One is exhausting. The other is where you find real peace.
This quote from the ancient Ashtavakra Gita, which our source references, just nails this idea perfectly. It's saying that your true self isn't a person, or an ego, or an I with a story. You are the awareness itself, pure, still, and completely open.
So here's where our journey takes a really fascinating turn. If we can actually learn to quiet that noisy thinking mind and just rest in this silent awareness, what else might we start to notice? What new perceptions could open up? Well, our second source takes this idea and runs with it to some pretty incredible places.
Let's switch gears to our second text, ESP Psychic Wisdom. It frames psychic ability not as some kind of magical, supernatural gift for a chosen few, but as a natural human skill. And it uses this great metaphor. Think of it like learning how to tune into a kind of cosmic Wi-Fi signal that's all around us, all the time.
The basic idea here is that all information isn't just stored in brains or books or on computer servers. It exists in a kind of universal field, a massive database. And ESP, according to this book, is just our natural, built-in ability to tap into that database directly, without needing our usual five senses.
And what kind of information are we talking about here? Well, the author claims this superconscious reading can be used for a whole range of things, from exploring your own past lives, to communicating with relatives who've passed on, contacting spirit guides, and even, understanding what your pets are thinking. So, the big question is, how do you actually tune in to this cosmic signal? Well, the texts get into several methods, along with some truly wild stories and experiences that are supposed to help you access this hidden layer of reality. For instance, here's an illustration of one of the more unique experiences from the book. The author describes being in a deep meditative state and receiving what they call a non-physical gift, this deep blue ball of light. And they interpreted this experience as a kind of key that helped unlock or seriously boost their ability to perceive beyond the ordinary. Now, for a more structured approach, the text really points to hypnosis. And it's not talking about stage magic or making people cluck like a chicken. It's presented as a modern, almost scientific way to channel. The idea is, by getting into that super relaxed hypnotic state, you can quiet the critical, thinking part of your brain and get direct access to all this subconscious and superconscious information.
All right, now we get to one of the most unusual procedures detailed in the book. It's called DNA activation. The source lays out this very specific ritual. It starts with praying for protection from angels. Then, you visualize removing an etheric helmet and armor.
Next, you use a non-physical crystal sword to cut 14 points on your crown, and finally, you implant new energy DNA. This is presented as a way to kind of fast-track your spiritual evolution. Okay, so we've explored the silent self within and the far-out possibilities of perception. But what's the point of all this? Where does this whole journey lead? Well, according to both our sources, it all comes down to one thing: self-mastery.
You see, the ultimate goal here isn't just about having cool psychic experiences or seeing visions. The text suggests those are really just potential side effects. The real purpose, the grand prize, is to take that deep, silent awareness, the observer, and make it the foundation of your daily life. It's about becoming the master of your own experience.
So what does a life like that even look like? Well, it means you're not constantly being thrown around by every emotion that pops up. It means you're making choices from a calm, clear place of awareness instead of from your ego's fears and desires. Ultimately, it's about living a life that's more balanced, more conscious, and just more fulfilled.
So in their own unique ways, both of these sources are pointing to the same thing. Consciousness is the real final frontier. They're offering a kind of map that starts deep inside you with that silent watcher and stretches out into realms we're only just beginning to imagine. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. If consciousness is the ultimate frontier, what else is just waiting to be discovered inside yourself?